thanks for gardening with me. I'm Melissa, and today I want to talk to you about some of the successes and failures that I've had with soil blocking. So I want to start off this video showing you how I did my initial soil blocks. And you may ask, what is a soil block? So what it is it's this little machine, and it comes in. You can do 2-inch soil blocks, you can do 3/4 inch soil blocks. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 different sizes. The first one that I went with was the 2-inch soil block, and I did not have great success. So as you can see here, I'm doing the soil blocking. I'm feeling like it's going to be hugely successful because I've done all my research, watched all the videos. Well, a lot of the soil blocking that I have seen has been in the mini soil blocks. So I really haven't seen the bigger ones, and I feel like after going through what I went through, the way to have more success with the bigger soil blocks is to use it with the bigger seeds. Like maybe a cucumber, which I just sow those directly into the ground. But zinnias would be a good one, I think, to use the soil blocks on that are the 2-inch sizes, because they germinate really quick, and they're a bigger seed. So what I did my first soil block with the 2-inch one is foxglove, which are probably the teeniest seed known in existence to man. Don't quote me on that, but they're really, really small. So I did foxgloves, I did snapdragons, and I also did Walla Walla onions. I had 0 success with all of them. I started them out here in the greenhouse. I don't know if that's what the problem was, starting them in the greenhouse, not under grow lights. So right now it's getting daylight around 7:30, and then it starts to get dark again about 7:30. So we got like 12 hours of daylight, where later when I do them under grow lights, I put that on a 15-hour shift. So it's got 15 hours of direct sunlight. Now that's the failure part. So the success part is I used the mini soil blocks, which this is how big they are. They're just teeny little things. I'll take the bigger one. So this is a soil block. I'll put it, I'm sure maybe you can see it a little bit better. But it's just a teeny little thing, and as you can see, the roots are on the bottom. So the benefit of soil blocking versus starting in seed trays is that once the roots hit the side of the soil block, they self-prune. And so what that means is they stop pushing out. So a lot of times you'll get plants from the nursery that you take the root out of the container and the root's all wrapped around. You'll never have that with a soil block. What happens is it self-prunes. So it gets to the end and it doesn't keep pushing out roots. It produces more roots from the stem, and so therefore you get a stronger plant. So this also is dried, it needs watered, and what I do with them when they're this size is I water them once a day. Water them in the morning, fill it with water, you let them soak in the water for a little bit, and then you drain the excess water out, and then you do it again the next day. I have, so I have 141 plants on this teeny little tray, and that's not counting the cells that didn't germinate. Some things I had great germination, some things I overseeded, so I'm gonna separate those and make 2 or 3 plants out of those, so I didn't even count that. And then some things I had kind of spotty germination on, and that's probably more to do with the seed packet than it is the process here. So as you can see, a great benefit to this is that you can get a lot of plants in a small amount of space. So I'm loving this. I started these indoors in my basement under grow lights. I had the grow lights on for 15 hours a day, and then it was on a timer, so it would just automatically go off. While they were germinating, I watered them twice a day. And again, you put the water in, you let them soak up all the water, and you drain the excess, and you do that twice a day. And the benefit to that is you don't get as many of the fungal gnats and then the green moss growing over top, things like that, because it gets a chance to kind of dry out a little bit. So I am sold on it. That is the way that I'm going to start all of my seeds from now on. These are the Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus, and I started these from seed in the teeny little packs, and then I bumped them up into the bigger trays here. I could have bumped them up to the 2-inch soil blocks, but I was nervous because I wasn't having a great success with those big soil blocks at the time. So I just potted them up to these trays, and man, every single one of them just looks absolutely perfect. And if you're wondering what's across the top of it, it is vermiculite, and that just helps keep the moisture in. So these all look great. So once they get a true set of leaves, which when a plant germinates, it gets 2 sets of leaves. Those are not the true leaves, but once they get the second set of leaves, which is the true set of leaves, then you can transfer them off the heat mat and out from underneath the grow lights. And then I've been bringing them out here, and they're doing really well. This is another pack of seedlings that I started under the grow mats with those 3/4 inch soil blocks, and they are all doing really amazing. I transferred them out here because they just got kind of leggy, it seems, but then I find out that that's just kind of what cosmos do. These back here are the sweet peas that I did directly sow them in these large containers because they don't like to have their roots messed with. So got those started, and they're really growing on a lot. I need to get those into the ground. I've got another set of those, and then over here, these are things that I've propagated. So I had rosemary, and then I also had geraniums, and they're doing great. And I just cut a piece off that. Oh, this one even has a little flower on it. Huh, which I think I'm gonna pop that off, so it can just focus on the root system. But they look beautiful and healthy. They feel gorgeous. And the rosemary, oh, it smells so good. So those have been growing on for a while. These geraniums, I just potted up, I think 3 days ago. I have a sweet pea in here, and then there's one snapdragon that made it from the other ones that I had. So I'll show you what I use for the rooting hormone. So this is what I use. It's from Bonide, and it's just rooting powder. And this is Bontone 2. Now there's different numbers that you need to pay attention, and I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but some of them are for taking hardwood cuttings, some of them are for taking softwood cuttings, and then others I think are even for the in-between cuttings. So this is what I used for these. It seems to be doing the trick. They're doing really well, very healthy. So super happy about that. And I wanted to show you my lettuce and kale that I had started earlier, and then I'll take you to the basement and show you the other plants that I have on under grow lights still. So this is my kale and lettuce that I started with you on another video, and it is doing just great. They look beautiful. They could definitely stand to be thinned out, but I've been just coming out here and just popping a piece off here and there and eating it, but I definitely have enough to make a salad out of now. Now I could thin these out and then plant some outside, which I very well may do, but I have more packets of seeds, so I'll probably just start some more from seed. And then this is kind of the rest of what's going on out here. And this is what I took the cuttings off of. And this geranium I had in a pot on the porch last year and just brought it in the greenhouse, and I've been cutting off of it and propagating. This is so cool. I need to figure out how to propagate that because that is really neat. Got some things down there. And then over here I've got this tomato, which was a stowaway in one of the plants that I brought in, so I just let it go. And it also had another one here that was in the pot that I brought in, so kind of ahead of the game on tomatoes there. And then this is the rosemary that I've been taking the cuttings off of. It looks real straggly and not great, but it's given me cuttings to make brand new rosemary bushes, so I'm just letting it go. And here we've got Gerber daisies, sun begonias, sun patience there. Just all kinds of goodies in here. So I'll take you now to the basement and show you what I have still under the grow lights there. Out there, I want to show you, this is all of my ranunculus that I have that is definitely ready to go in the ground. And then I've already put some of them in my little window planter here. So this is my super fancy high-tech gear that I have set up in the basement. I just took one of the shelves. That we had, and I added shop lights. And they're not special grow lights or anything. They're just regular LED shop lights. And you can see I have quite a bit of germination down here also. So with these, what you do is, and there's many ways to do it, but the way that I'm doing it is just covering it with a saran wrap after I water it. And as you can see, they've been doing really well germinating for me. And it keeps the seed nice and wet. So I have a lot of things growing down here. Oh my goodness, look at this. Now, I just sowed these seeds 2 days ago. 2 days ago, and they're already germinating like that. It's status. Wow. Look at that. So once you get 50% germination, which I would say that I have, you take the plastic off and just let them continue growing like that. Now I do have a heat mat, but I have a cookie sheet over top of the heat mat. So they're not laying right on top of the heat mat, which I tried that before too, and it just literally fried everything. So I have them sitting on a cookie sheet, and I learned that from Lisa Mason-Ziegler, which is, I mean, she's one of the pros on starting in soil blocks like this. So also what I have is a bunch of my dahlias that I've started, and I will do a separate video on how I do that. So I just have those in the pots here. Today I need to go and write the names of each one so I can take the pictures off of them and keep them organized. And then I'll just take all of these after they sprout, and I will put them in the greenhouse. So as you can see here, it's only been like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and it's already sucked up all the water. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more water to this. But for today, that's about it. Thank you so much for gardening with me. God bless, and have a great week.